That shoegaze tree from the 1990s sure did drop a lot of seeds. It's worth shimmying up one of these new growth saplings, then climbing out on a limb to catch up with the state of 21st century shoegaze. By the mid-1990s, shoegaze as a musical movement seemed over, left behind. Overwhelmed by grunge and alternative in the US and by Britpop in the UK, most of the original first-wave groups had broken up for one reason or another. Most importantly, My Bloody Valentine, the Sound's inadvertent flag-bearers, were in deep hibernation as its members engaged in other projects. There were pockets of continuing interest scattered worldwide, but the Sound's influence, however broadly defined, was more felt secondarily. Any number of 1990s psych rock and post-rock acts were clearly inspired at least in part by the shoegaze approach. Beyond that, though, shoegaze was seen as insular, unpopular, stuck in a rut. By the time the 21st century was 2 decades in, however, that situation had changed radically. While never truly becoming a world-conquering sound in terms of pop chart success, shoegaze had become a real genre of sorts. At a minimum, the term was a generally recognized sonic approach that many different artists embraced. Sampling and electronics were increasingly added to distorted guitars in a widening range of genres. The dominant shoegaze sound of the 2000s and 2010s was set by bands like Nothing and Ringo Death Star. They tended to turn shoegaze into more traditional alt-rock or punk than art rock. These so-called heavy shoegaze bands bypassed My Bloody Valentine's experimentation and Slowdive's murmurs to focus on heavy-duty riffs, thunderous percussion, and loud soft dynamics. The crossover between various forms of heavy metal and shoegaze was especially prolific. Variants included the mashup of black metal and shoegaze to yield, wait for it, blackgaze, with Deafheaven, its blackgaze exemplar. There was also a sort of gothic hybrid, best represented by the Horrors, and Dive, a top-tier band working the dream pop side of shoegaze. While that early 21st century revival largely featured bands loyal to the tried-and-true sound of shoegaze first wave, the 2020s revival has been notable for its expanded horizons. To give you an idea of the genre's breadth, here are a few of my favorite albums highlighting the evolution of shoegaze during the past 20 years. Dead Cities, Red Seas, and Lost Ghosts. M83, 2003. This album is one of the cornerstones of 21st century shoegaze, post-rock, and popular electronic music. The song Run Into Flowers became the group's earliest standard, and its air of energetic melancholy is expertly woven throughout the album. Exploding Head, A Place to Bury Strangers, 2009. A Place to Bury Strangers saturate everything with fuzz, distortion, and anxiety. On this LP, the New York City power trio managed to live up to their reputation as one of the loudest bands in town, while striking a perfect balance in delivering brute force noise and utter tunefulness. Wait to Pleasure, No Joy, 2013. This is top drawer shoegaze from Montreal's No Joy, featuring swooping vocals, walls of crashing guitar, and blistering noise pop hooks. And talk about concentrated power, all of this in just 36 minutes. Fantasy Country, Flying Colours, 2021. Flying Colours, out of Australia, bring wired energy along with a strong sense of dynamic arrangements, blended harmonies, and guitar overload. Big Mess and the high-speed Motoric tribute White Knuckles are standouts. Girl with Fish, Feeble Little Horse, 2023. This band checks all key shoegaze boxes: textured shoegaze guitars, exacting pop hooks, and offbeat production flourishes. The vocals may be delivered in soothing deadpan, but the record is all glitchy guitar shrieks, battering drums, and whimsical keyboards. It's great. Cartwheel, Hotline, TNT, 2023. The LP kicks off with sounds that are catnip to any first-generation Ride, My Bloody Valentine, or Slowdive fan. What we have here are simply squalls of feedback and distorted guitar wrapped around some of the loveliest hooks of the year. Everything is Alive, Slowdive, 2023. Titans of first-generation shoegaze, Slowdive are back with a new album that is as fabulously repetitive as the best krautrock and as atmospheric as prime Brian Eno. The band comes correct, mixing trance-like beauty with the deepest delayed guitar sounds. Hard Light, Drop 19s, 2023. Boston's Drop 19s formed in 1990 and released only 2 albums, most notably Delaware, still an American shoegaze standout. Now they're back after 30 years with an album that melds shoegaze, indie, post-rock, and a grown-up emo to great effect. The single Scapa Flow is a particular delight. All in all, 2023 has been a high watermark in a real resurgence of the shoegaze genre. Arguably, shoegaze's second and third waves have been more fearless and exhilarating than its first. I can't wait to hear what comes next. Speaking of next, don't forget to stay aboard the bandwagon for my next episode of Out on a Limb. No spoilers, I'll only say it won't be quite so loud.